Okay, I think my camera's not working. Okay, looks like my camera's not working properly. Go figure. Never have a day where this thing doesn't go, where something's wrong. Let's try that. Okay, that's a bit better. Anyways, now that that's figured out, welcome everybody. It's Thieves of Oblivion. This is Romori getting ready to take you into the Sunken City. Frosty welcome. Dear Mr. Charles Reeds, as you requested, I've researched the outbursts of hysteria and visions in the city of Oakmont, Massachusetts. It turns out that your assumptions were correct. Such cases are indeed more frequent here. Men and women from across the country are drawn to Oakmont, haunted by visions similar to yours, a city drowning, the presence of something great yet unknown. As luck has it, I believe we have stumbled upon the source of your ailment and the person who might help you with it. Prepare yourself, then come to Oakmont as soon as you can. I will meet you here to help you on your way. Cordially, Johannes van der Burg. Van der Burg. Van der Burg. Okay, that's enough with the name. It's kind of fun to say. Alright. Wow, this has a long load time. There it goes. Like the mirror. Oh. He's the only one alive out of the picture. Interesting. Lovecraft theme is up front and center already. And back in bed. Is this like some kind of search mode?
Never trust a tourist advertisement. Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Okay. What the?
Take your belongings off my ship first. Take your belongings off my ship first.
What the? Letter from... Okay, this is what we read during the, Wait.
Hope I never have to use it.
Now, what is that? Oh, skills. Cool. I picked up a camera, didn't I? I thought I picked up a camera. Interesting. Very interesting.
Now get out!
Hey Morris, thank you for the like. Alright. Climb. Or not. Okay, there
At
we go.
last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this rickety packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
Oh yeah?
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks, and the water has risen ever higher without receding. Now the city is cut off from the mainland. I must say I rather like it, despite the inconvenience. Atmosphere, you know?
That's
Nice.
an eye-catching suit.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. A mere flood is no excuse for one to abandon one's style.
It's gotta be
I
a
take it you're
substitute.
a big fan of yellow.
Well, I have a particular weakness for it. Call it a personal quirk.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has
Interesting.
dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throgmorton?
A remarkable creature. Scion of a robust bloodline.
Creature.
A philanthropist, a scholar, and the patron of the famous Oakmont University. A man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Well, that's
Sounds
ominous.
charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
It's much worse.
How do you fill your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Okay.
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper. Places you'll need to get to the truth. This city is insular. Its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you better know where to turn in search of a lead.
Well,
Okay.
that's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
Oh, that ain't creepy. Don't know if that counts for anything, but the port, what that is. Danger. Alright.
I don't
What's
care
this?
about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is fine.
Monkey face.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
What
My
is
name's
with the
Charles
monkey face?
Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers. Mark my words.
Innsmouthers?
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, Those filthy migrants occupy half this damn city. The port,
Not sure what that
Grimhaven
is.
Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
Interesting.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk.
Please forgive the question, but
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
You look like an ape.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
Vera. Okay, good.
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see. Thank you. I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. We're standing right in front of it.
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
You know, you are a rather big pain.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
What?
I've said everything I know.
That's just mean. Face the house, turn left, and head to the fence. Oh, that's not a lifeboat. Let's take a look over here. That is also not a lifeboat. What was that symbol? Yeah, I'm not seeing a lifeboat. Hello, Cthulhu Squid. Yeah, I don't see a lifeboat.
Join in, newcomer. Praise the sea with us.
How about no? That just seems like a bad idea all around. This door does not open. Toggle the flashlight. It's a pretty low flashlight. Squishy. Squishy, squishy. Alright, we have fish. More Cthulhu squids.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Well, obviously that should not move like that.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, my head. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. We were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay. My head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing. Just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me...
That sounds familiar. Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will. Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was add or starve.
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea what Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. Kay have mercy on his soul.
Who is this Kay you keep mentioning?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
Sorry, I didn't know. I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself.
You know, you could be
Please,
a little more
Detective,
friendly with that.
Sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or... Kay, did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. And the police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
Mind palette. What? Okay, I have a knowledge point. it get used on? Because I thought it said I had an extra point. Or maybe I did use it on that. Okay. What is this Mind Palace? Interesting.
Choo choo. Ahem.
I don't know if this is actually accomplishing anything, but we'll try it. Alright, let's go back to this. So we're missing a fisherman as well. This room is just a
I can
mess.
barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
What? Okay. I'm not the only one that just saw that, right?
I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here. Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much.
All of these games seem to take place during that.
So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
Something in the back? No? Alright, is there something I can do with this?
Glenmar, Nehri, Glenmar, Gebheil, Nugulrenar Haftin.
I'm sorry, what?
So,
Well, let's look at the knife again.
seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much. Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here. 5 cards short of a full house. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
Yeah, no, we're not jumping down.
was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee.
What's this?
Choo-choo. Ahem.
What's this?
Yeah, run! Take this, ape face.
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
What's happening?
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
Okay. Mind Palace. Okay. Interesting.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
Okay, that works.
Huh. This dog mat looks better than the owner's bed. The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for. The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for.
All evidence collected.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
definitely different. I wonder if I'm supposed to jump out the window. Or not the window, but the hole. Interesting.
So, even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong.
Okay, that's just that whole thing. Lewis, please, just give me one more week. I know I owe you, but I'm underwater like everyone else right now. I don't yet have enough stock to operate the bar smoothly with the fuzz snooping around the port. But don't worry, I've struck a nice deal with the proper people and should have a steady supply channel soon. Just one more week and I will turn everything with double interest.
The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far.
More gunpowder. Alright, a locked door. Also a locked door. Alright, let's follow the blood trail. Okay.
The door won't budge.
Yeah, well. Whatever the hell you are, you ain't biting me again.
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
I see. That thing is ugly. Alright. So. I wonder if it's a bad idea to be walking around with this up a lot. The hell is that? Alright. Jump down there. Alright, let's double back. Talk with them.
Mr. Throgmorton,
What?
some unusual...
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started. They're aggressive, but fortunately not immune to gunfire.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
My condolences, Mr. Throgmorton. I had hoped for a happier outcome.
Your condolences will not bring him back. So much of our blood spilled for nothing. So much effort in vain. My poor Albert. Tell me you know who did it. I want to look him in the eyes, make him beg for mercy.
Seems like he was a fisherman by the name of Lewis. He had a gun and pursued Albert after he fled the house.
Lewis it is, then. What do you know of him?
Turns out you were right. He's an Innsmouther.
Those filthy scum have done it now. When I'm through with them, they will rue the day they dared lay a finger on a Throgmorton. Bring me that dirtbag Lewis. He and I are due a reckoning. Do this for me, and I'll help you with anything you need.
All right. So, building behind me is the bar.
Oh, yeah. Hey, got a spare bullet, fella? I ain't eaten in days.
You're wanting me to shoot you?
You look familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
There must be some sort of crafting in this game.
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
I'm looking for a man by the name...
Yeah, even if I knew, I don't rat.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Rob. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over, and he won't be back to collect what you owe.
Rock. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him.
Smart man. There's your good... I've seen some unsettling creatures around. Like nothing I've ever encountered. What are they?
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece.
Okay.
They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea. Others that they are Kay's punishment for us.
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember, better to be a coward and live than brave and dead. Unless you're a newcomer.
Well, glad to know I'm not... that you would prefer me dead than anything else.
What the... Get the... Oh...
I won't play chess. And this town is in all sorts of falling apart.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
What in the world?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Ugh. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though. I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
What kind of... why do you're...
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you? Wanna spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just...
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
Creepy looking motherfucker.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't myself.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a...
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to have mercy, please.
I won't tell him. Everyone seems to agree there's been an outbreak of madness around these parts. I'm in plus. That seems heartless to tear apart a family. That said, the port's still closed. What will you do?
Hide here, I guess.
I'll make something up to tell Throgmorton.
Thank you again, sir.
I see.
Just as I suspected, the Innsmouther Lewis is responsible for... Seems like he had a bone to pick with you.
Oh, that scum won't be getting off easy. Justice, bittersweet as it is, shall be served. It's rare for a newcomer to make himself so useful. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton,
Yes, you've earned it. Kay, to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I needed to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster?
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
Do you think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
So I'm trading my ammo for supplies. Huh. Start doing that, I guess. Should have started there first, but... Alright, Lost at Sea. I still want to know what that is. guess that explains why the guy was asking for a bullet earlier, though. If they don't take any stock in money, then I guess that would make sense. Cthulhu! Where am I? Welcome, everybody. So, this has definitely gotten interesting. I guess I need to get used to melee combat, because I don't know that I want to use up my resources if I need them. This is very, very different. Not used to my ammo being my money. I feel like this is going to be like Call of Cthulhu, where there's just going to lead to multiple endings. Man-eating eels? Okay. Some deductions in the mind have alternate interpretations leading to different conclusions. So I guess that means there's a chance that I'll get something different out of it.
Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brother.
What? Interesting. Dear Mr. Reed, I understand you are the private eye that caught the murder in the port. My life is in danger and I cannot trust anyone in this city. Please come to my room, which is just opposite yours. I am in despair. My studies have drawn the attention of vile forces. They stalk me and will take me soon. I have cast my lot and I am beyond saving, but 7 books must be saved at any cost. Even if I'm gone, find my notes there. This knowledge must not be lost, as it could be our kind's last hope for enlightenment. Please be the bearer of this light, for I have failed. What the f- We'll do that one. Raid on Insurmouthers. The number of attacks on the Insurmouth immigrants have increased. Raids are intensifying with more and more Insurmouths exposed to abuse and assault. Sometimes, whole families are found dead in their houses. Police are on the case with several illegal Insurmouth businesses captured and their owners sent to jail. City ought to have been cleaned of these fish-faced scum long ago, said Robert Throckmorton, head of the Throckmorton crime family. I regret only one thing. It all started too late. Had we not If I neglected our civic duties, my son Albert would still be here with us. So you say. What's this? Note from J. Vonderberg. Mr. Reed, it seems that you've overexerted yourself while conducting the investigation for Mr. Throckmorton. Forgive me for the audacity, but I brought you to the Devil's Reef while you were unconscious. Please take more care of yourself in the future. I won't be there for you every time. Just opposite mine. Tome in the ruins. Local woman. We're talking about a ruined house in central Coverside, near the radio tower on the crossing of Landings Avenue and Kinsport. They said the ghosts of the house owner and his family still read the unholy book they kept. Several newcomers who tried to settle in those ruins have gone mad. They must have the Necronomicon. How did it get from Call of Cthulhu here? The nightmares. I boarded up the windows and locked the door. They are just men, the Yellow King's gang. They can't get here now. Now there's only me. Me and these nightmares. A little longer, and I'll figure them out. The Tome of the Mare. The fishermen talk of a place near the Blackwood Manor, on the southern port of Whisper Street, where meetings occur in the dead of night. The locals don't like this part of eastern Grimshaven Bay because they seem to fear those who gather near the half-built ships. They say a certain book is read at these meetings, a cursed tome that makes people so crave the sea's touch that they go in and drown in the ocean. The one reading the book stands on a cursed boat that sinks in the fog. Those who saw it touch the shore have either gone mad or disappeared. Interesting. Bewitched Tome. The local legends may be more than mere superstition. A dozen witches were hanged on a huge apple tree that grows near the cedar mill. Among those documents is a confession. One of the witches said the devil himself granted them a book with words of power. This book hides itself from mortal eyes, waiting for the witches to be reborn and return to claim it. The witch who wrote this confession lived in eastern Reed Heights, somewhere north of the intersection of Communion Road and Museum Avenue. Could the book still be hidden there? More evidence. There's a lot of evidence in this book. The Wheel Tome. I had a dream so real it still makes my hands shake. A huge Ferris wheel rose amidst the city. People got on and rode it higher and higher before jumping off at its peak. As the pile of corpses grew bigger, the crowd pushed me to the wheel, and then I saw a man with a leather bag. He was standing in the center of the wheel and reading from a book. His awful dirge was making the wheel rotate and dragging the crowd to their slaughter. Could this vision be real? I know there is a Ferris wheel in the park in Western Old Grove near Century Avenue and Beacon Street, but where could the book be? Is this all the same book? Waiting book. Building the church was his redemption. Day after day he worked without payment, carrying stones and putting them in the moist soil of Salvation Harbor. At night when he returned to his house behind the church, he could not sleep. The book his ancestors brought across the ocean called. When the church was built, the priest found him hanged on the bell ropes, but the book was still waiting for someone to come and read it. His house is in central Salvation Harbor on the Old Church Road between Seven Oaks Street and Windhelm Street. Still has a bad fame and no one wants to live there even after the flood. That's a lot of evidence. The Hidden Book. It took a lot of effort to track down this book. After being stolen from the Throckmorton Museum, it was bought by a local surgeon who was found dead in his house after the flood. I snuck in and checked out his place, but in vain. Still, there is somewhere else the tome could be. The private hospital in West of Reed Heights, where the surgeon worked, has been abandoned. The archives say it is in Bourbon Street, between Innsmouth Road and Oak Street. That's a lot of time. And there's still one more. Talking with locals is never easy, but this old chap was one of the queerest yet. He was happy to talk about the book, but only laughed when I proposed to buy it. I left it in the most guarded place of the city and paid enough to keep it there until the world ends. And if it is abandoned after the flood, even better. Ignorance is the best guardian. I'm guessing he meant the abandoned bank building on Northern Advent in Forefather Street between Hillsong Street and Windshaft Avenue. So it would be too dangerous to go there by myself. Anything else? Does not appear so. Okay, I've got a second one that I can't even look at. There we go. There's something about a lot of tomes. Well, what's this?
Makes this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already.
My room got turned into a headquarters? Well, I guess I can't complain. Shell casings. Okay, can't go in there. Is there a way to save this? There we go. Okay, can't go in those rooms. I thought I muted that. Alright, goes downstairs. Let's see what's upstairs before we go anywhere. If anything. What's this? Too many coincidences. So the lighthouse is out, several ships have gotten lost at sea, and some are now decorating the city's beaches. That's one thing, but now there's an enterprising fellow at the seaport hiring salvagers to recover ships. He's turning a tidy profit from selling them. Can't be coincidence. Need to look into it. Now, if only the city wasn't so impossible to navigate. Another quest. Locked. Locked. Not locked. Alright, we need the camera. Okay, nothing actually in that room at the moment.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you, though, mister, you want to stay on here, you stop making all that noise.
Sorry, but
You bang your head or something? I'm Victor Olmsted. I own the place. This place. The Devil's Reef Hotel.
Considering I was unconscious when I got brought in, how would I know you?
noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah? Well, next time it happens, you end up sleeping under the bridge like the other newcomers.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Are we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you...
To my dear nephew, my dear Victor, how's Oakmont treating you? Should you require any support, the Blackwoods will be happy to help you. Have arranged for that. Regarding your question, I don't know where Robert went sadly, only that he did not stay in Innsmouth. Perhaps there is hope he did in Paris in that cursed raid. Take good care of the hotel, please. Plenty of our relatives were interested in the property, but you're still my favorite nephew. I know the Devil Reed is in good hands. Want to be rude to me? I'm gonna start taking your stuff. Now let's see. Yeah, feel like there's gonna be a consequence to keep using that. To Walter. Walter, can't help you if I hear you're peddling your cheap, affordable living again. I could live with you renting out beast-ridden flop houses, but you're cutting into my profit. Don't make that mistake. I know you're on the fish market, and I have dangerous people living here that I can send after you. You've been warned, Vic. That is a lot. I don't feel like reading yet. Fast travel point. Now where am I? Blocks. Oh, hi. This is why they're talking about needing a boat, isn't it? Well, I see there's no safe way to get across without swimming. Or a boat. For this crazy tone they speak of. I guess H's on the door means that's ones I can go into?
Patient or visitor? Hold on. Let Dr. Grant get.
A visitor. Though you are a bit pale, you don't have a headache, do you?
You're pale.
The usual. Nothing to write home about.
Ah, a chronic headache sufferer. Fascinating. By coincidence, I was studying Helminth and their role in illness before the flood. Did you know that all of us are infected by Helminth? Your headaches could indicate that they have infested your brain.
That's news to me, Doc. Sounds serious.
May I suggest you become a subject in my experimental medical program?
Okay.
Experimental medicine. Well, I guess it can't be any worse than the asylum in Boston. Count me in.
I'm delighted to hear that, Mr.
Reed. Charles Reed.
Mr. Reed, take these pills with some water. They're a potent measure against parasites. Contact me when you feel improvement.
What in the... Maybe that was a bad idea. Dear Mr. Reed, I understand you are the private eye that caught the murder in the port. That's not what I was looking for. What am I looking for? Personnel. Local surgeon. What in the world? Maybe period is not the, What? What am I looking for? No. Then I don't know. I don't know. Let's look around a bit more. Maybe that's something for later? Or at least not tied to what I'm looking for now. Clear water. Cordite? What is cordite? It's on Bourbon. Okay, yeah, this is where I'm at. Maybe it's up top, or maybe it's not in the surgeon's room. Maybe it got moved. Doesn't seem abandoned to me.
My stomach. I ain't never eaten leeches ever again, no sir.
Why would you eat leeches? That doesn't make sense. That just sounds disgusting. Patience.
Scratch me. Please, please. Just here. This itching is driving me insane.
The doctor isn't going to talk to me. What in the world? Yes, this is very safe. How is this? Seriously, this is not an abandoned. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and shut down for the day. So I will definitely be back to look at this later. But as always, thank you for tuning in,